Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Superfeeler podcast. My name is Lori, and I'm super excited today to be joined by Chelsea, who's going to share a little bit about her story. And yeah, Chelsea, do you want to just kind of get into why you're here, how we found each other, Superfeeler, and all that jazz?
I am very happy to be here first off because I am 31 and I've been feeling a super feeler since middle school. And this has completely changed my life. And I mean, it's not easy. Everything's still there, but it doesn't seem quite as heavy, quite as hopeless as it did before. So I love it. But I would say I want to start with my son. I got pregnant with my son at 25. And I was chaotic before, but I experienced the postpartum depression psychosis and OCD tendencies. I ended up getting mastitis and having to get it surgically. Yeah, that's nasty. But because of just my mind going wild, I didn't sleep very well, all of that. I had a 4-month maternity leave. I went back to work and I made it 2 weeks and I quit my job and enrolled or applied for Baylor University, which it's still crazy to me that I did that, but I quit my job, enrolled in school and started school full time. And then COVID,
with a 4-month-old kid?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. And what did you do for work when you applied for school, when you were pregnant and stuff?
So I was with my ex-husband at the time, and he was the breadwinner at the time for sure. He definitely supported me. I was very lucky because I got a lot of scholarships and a lot of grants and stuff. So I had a little money to, work off of. But yes, he was definitely the one to drive me crazy and support me at the same time. But yeah, those mental things were kind of it really scared me because I think a lot of people with BPD don't remember their childhood. They don't really. So I didn't really know until I had my baby, and I was just so scared and didn't quite understand why, and was just constantly trying to figure that out. I realized one time with my parents, they came over and they just made a comment about the way I was painting him, and they pushed me aside and took over. And that was the first time I ever I was at my mom. I screamed get out, get out. And I thought it was weird because I've never acted like that towards her. And her face was who are you talking to? Not concerned,
Right.
So I would just say once I had Easton, it was just very confusing, a lot of rapid fire, not knowing why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And now I know that it was BPD, and it was just my body's way of telling me hey, you did not have a safe childhood. Make sure that your child has a safe childhood, Yeah, so I enrolled at Baylor, and I was doing good. But then,
what were you studying?
Accounting.
Okay.
I have my bachelor's in accounting. Yeah, that's self-hatred, That's
I was gonna say, I was thinking psych or something like that, but no, accounting. That is very specific and mathy. Not my vibe.
Honestly, I did it out of survival. I did because I was already 25. Okay, and I've taken all of the basic classes. Nothing was screaming out at me. Nothing was I didn't really know what to do. But I know my accounting classes, I didn't really have to try that hard, and I did decent. That wasn't the way at Baylor. Okay.
Okay, good to know.
signed up for a lot. But I mean, I still, some people get it, some people don't. And I just thought of this like, dude, anyone will get a job with an accounting degree. There's so many different ways to use them. They are needed. So it was definitely out of survival, not out of a passion.
Passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good though. I mean, honestly, like that's a smart move. You know, you're like, I have a kid, I need a job. What's gonna get me a job? Accounting. Perfect.
And I'm sorry, but like right now, like it's that like I'm making it work, but like I am not by any means thriving like I thought I was as a college graduate, you know, like it's still a struggle. But anyway, so I had Ethan 2019 is when he was born. So 2020 COVID, right? I had to do school, which Baylor University was not equipped for online at all. And that was extremely, extremely rough. And at this point, I have like a 1.5, 2-year-old. And I'm losing my shit at this point. Like,
were you with your partner at that time still? Like you said, your ex-husband?
Yeah.
Was it it's his baby?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I ended up, it gets really fuzzy through these things because it's a lot, but I ended up self-medicating to keep myself going through school because I couldn't understand it because it was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I need to do this. Why can't I do this? You know, like it was so like furious, irate because I'm like, I want to do this. This is insane.
Yeah.
So I kind of self-medicated, trigger warning, sorry. And it led me to my first mental hospitalization, which lasted.
What were you self-medicating with?
It started with cocaine. Dude, love me some cocaine. Okay, dude. Like, don't get that shit around me. I tell everyone, like, a disclaimer, I got a problem with that shit. Don't. But then it ended up going to meth. I only got one bag. I'm not gonna lie, it was just one bag. And I actually had a previous boyfriend who was in jail still for that problem. And if it wasn't for going through what he went, like seeing all the stuff he went through, I would be way worse off. But I think I was already in a bad mental state. And then once I got to the meth, and obviously it makes you stay up way longer. Yeah. And it makes your brain it's very like psychotic. You think things that aren't real, all that stuff. So it was just kind of like, I'm glad it kind of happened because it was like, for me, I realized that like me, even without it, I was not okay because I witnessed my ex-boyfriend on this stuff and it was terrible. And, you know, like I tried it and it was scary. And so my own mental is also that scary, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a different kind of scary.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you're also you're in school at this time, right? So like you're also using it as a stimulant to try and get through school, I assume, and parenting and all this shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I really try hard not to judge myself on that one. I really do. I think it absolutely all makes sense the way it worked out now. Yeah, once I got out, I met with my first time actual psychiatrist. I went through a 4-day appointment for like 2 hours a day with a psychologist to diagnose me with late diagnosed me ADHD. Man, dude, one of those times I cried like a baby, and I literally I'm sobbing, and I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Can I just stop? And he's like, just keep going, stop. And I was like, just sobbing. It was like so terrible, but I'm telling you, once I got the ADHD medication, life changed.
I mean, it makes
And
sense what you were self-medicating with, right?
oh,
You knew what you
absolutely.
needed, ironically, right?
Oh, I knew it because the first time I tried coke, I realized that I was definitely not acting like everyone else. Usually I'm
Right.
like, blah, 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 and I was actually like, yeah, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, in my own mind, I was like, why can't I hear just one thing? Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. So, um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the ADHD, that was almost 2 or 3 years ago. My ADHD medication, I think, is my biggest mood stabilizer. Like
Mm.
it is. I've learned that I can handle, like with our DBT skills and stuff, I can handle all this stuff. It's just that overstimulation and the fact that I'm hypersensitive to certain things, that like something can just pop in that's not supposed to like reach me, and it hurts. And I've realized with ADHD, I can really kind of just like form more of like a protective, or with my medication, I could like, it's like, I know it's only going to last till 6. So this is my protective bubble until 6. And then I should probably go home.
Right. Yeah. And did you get diagnosed with that while you were in university, or had you already
Yeah.
finished university? Okay.
No. So I will have to say, so what led, like, I ended up at the mental hospital. I had to withdraw like last
Yeah.
minute, and I lost all of my scholarships. I lost all
Mm.
my grants, FAFSA, all of that. So that hit really, 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 really hard. But I still just focused. I immediately knew that, like, once I got out of the mental hospital, so I was like, let's just focus on your health first. And I did, and I got the ADHD medication, and I got started on Effexor, which that's what I take now. And I know a lot of people say the brain zaps and like
Was
withdrawals are
that
really good.
venlafaxine? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm on now too. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, dude, take your medicine. And I'm like
Yeah.
that's not that bad. Like maybe you don't need it. Like
Because is it
eh,
like all of those side effects, well, obviously the withdrawal, but like the brain zaps and stuff, that's if you don't take it, right?
yeah, but I will say it is very, very quick. I would say it's within 12 to 16 hours
Oh,
of
really?
missing your dose. Yes.
My psychiatrist did say the other day, like, yeah, this drug sucks to come off of, so like be careful.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like make sure you take it. But I haven't.
Yeah.
I think I've missed a dose, but maybe I missed it and then I took it just in time for the next one.
Okay.
But
I didn't realize it really that bad. Like, cause okay, also like with my ADHD, I wasn't, with the shortage and everything. You kind of rest in
yeah,
your pills sometimes, and you're like, okay, I gotta work these days. I'm gonna take them these days, and like on the weekends, I'm just not gonna take them. And so I kind of ended up like doing that with my venlafaxine too, just because I wasn't taking that. So it would be like 2 days. And have you heard of the brain zap?
I've heard of it, but I've never experienced it.
Oh my God, it's wild. Oh, it's so wild. It's like a mini seizure, I feel like. It's like that static. It sounds very loud in your head. Static, clicking, like snapping, kind
Okay.
of, and like bright lights, and like it,
Jeez.
and you go like that, like when it happens. And I noticed it was like, without the ADHD medication, you don't realize all that. Like I would lay down that night, and it would be like every 15 seconds. It'd be
Wow.
like just shaking from because it's a loud noise, bright light.
Yeah,
Like that.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna take my medicine.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like in a way, it's not that, as long as like the medicine's available, it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing as like a
No,
reminder of like you need to keep taking it. Don't stop taking it.
it's like, for me, it's like you're gonna glitch out. Like if you don't keep taking your medication, like you're fading away, you know, like you're starting to fade away. So it's kind of like I'm the one that kind of lights the brains up because I'm like, okay, I think
Yeah, my bad, brain, my bad.
yeah. Like I think like, you know how, I don't know if you know, but like people with bipolar, I'm sure you've been misdiagnosed bipolar and we all went through like the freaking saying of, well, I'm bipolar, but like people with bipolar stop taking their medication all the time. It's like part of their thing. And I'm like, dude, they need to do something like that for their medication. So it's like, hey,
Yeah.
like just a little kind of like, let's get your attention. Cause I mean, I'm not going to get on a whole tangent, but like mental health, all of that, like they need to be on injection and the cluster injection is sick. And it's so like, I'm not going to get into all that. It makes me so fucking sick. So like,
do they have like injections for like the meds we would need?
it's more for like antipsychotic.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like that we have up here because I'm in Canada and you're in the States, but yeah, I don't
and
know
that's going to be more for like the, you know, people with bipolar that's going to keep them from getting too far.
Right, like so manic that there's psychosis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it doesn't,
But I
like
mean,
the
it would
mood
be it would be kind of nice to be able to have something longer acting for us so that we didn't have to feel like, I mean, you said you're 31. I'm 30.
Yeah.
I'm taking all these freaking meds and I'm like, I am too young to be taking this many meds. And it as much as I take them and I'm pretty good at taking them consistently.
Yeah.
But I do have like this level of like self shame and hatred that comes with like having to take meds twice a day because I'm like, why can't I just be normal like everyone else? But I'm not normal like everyone else. So
I'm very glad that you said that. I am very glad that you said that because I've actually been struggling here lately. I feel like you're not gonna be able to get my story. It's too chaotic and crazy. We'll just get beats of it. We'll just get a little bit, okay? But my biological dad in 2021, during all of my fun time, he attempted suicide and survived. And he stayed in the ICU. He was in a coma about 5 days, and stayed in the ICU for about 5 months. And he has like no frontal lobe anymore. But yeah, but he's biological dad. He was not there growing up. You know, I didn't really know him until I was really in my early, like 1920, like when I became an adult and wanted to learn things.
were you adopted or was he just kind of out of the picture?
My mom, we don't like her. Okay. We don't like her.
Got it. You don't like your mom.
Her husband adopted me when I was way too late though. Like I was like 7th grade, dude. Doesn't really make sense because he's known me since, I mean, he met me when I was 3. So weird, but yeah, my biological dad, I've learned now with everything going on that I got my BPD a lot from my experiences, but from the predisposition from his side. He is diagnosed bipolar, and he is also diagnosed with lupus SLE. And
what is the SLE? Like I know what lupus is, but what's the SLE part of it?
There's some that are like genetic, like kind of like with diabetes, how some you can make it, and some are just genetically. His is just a genetically nothing caused it. And I mean, it takes a lot of doctors and stuff to get a real answer for an autoimmune disease. But so I'm, you know, obviously working on that, but I know I have it. I feel very much like in the sun, I get very dizzy, very I just know these things. And so in this time, still trying to figure these things out. I just, take a lot of, I have my mental medication, but I also have not like Zofran for nausea, Imodium for diarrhea, like all these other stomach medications, headache medications. For hot, it's ridiculous. Like I'm
Yeah.
30. This is not okay. I totally relate to, because it is a constant battle of just feeling so much self pity and this is not fair and it isn't fair. But you can't have that mindset because you're just going to ruin yourself even more because you feel a lot. And if you feel this bad feeling, it's just exhausting. It's so exhausting.
Yeah. And then you add a child to that.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how exhausted. I'm exhausted. I don't have a child.
Let's add a child that acts just like his daddy. Okay, oh my god. And let's jump into that because that was a fun little confusion bubble that I figured out. But like I said, I don't like my mom. There's a lot of bad things there. And weirdly enough, my ex-husband, boy, is my mom. They're the same person.
And you didn't know that when you were together?
Yeah,
you just found it out after?
Yeah.
Brutal. How long were you together?
Oh, good. 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
I mean, Ethan was 3. I wanted to make sure Ethan could communicate effectively before I separated.
Right.
And again, these type of people are very, they don't communicate in a healthy manner. They don't take accountability. They don't talk about feeling any of that. And I've learned that, and then actually I have learned to love it, that he is the fun dad that gets to take him to the beach and to all these amusement parks that I can't because I'm sick. And if it's not going to stress me out, it's going to make me physically ill. So I'm the parent that he talks to. I'm the parent that he confides in and that he can feel really safe. And I'm the one that takes him to the doctor. And I think that I've just kind of learned, and I'm proud that I am this person because it's going to mean way more than what.
Totally.
But I'm also glad that he gets that because I can't provide that. I've beat myself up so much since he's 5, okay? And I beat myself so much over the mom guilt of him not having the pretty life and, Christmas with all the family, and just I beat myself up over the pain that he sees a lot. But I'm realizing more and more that he is learning so much at a young age that I didn't know. Baylor University taught me boundaries because when I had to do orientation, they made me watch the sexual assault orientate a video, and I realized I was many times. How sad is that? I didn't even obviously there's been times that's very obvious. Yes, that happened. But Baylor taught me that a lot of I didn't have boundaries that I didn't even know existed. And then I have a 5-year-old that knows boundaries now. And I'm just that's all that matters. That's all that fucking matters. I don't care how ugly it looks over here. I don't care. He's gonna be a savior to the kids at his school. He's gonna help other people by just being well versed in this stuff and just not being scared of feelings also. Because you know what? I am so tired of having feelings and getting this look of like, oh my God.
Why are you doing this? This is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, I'm so tired of being that face. And like it's more it's so sympathy when you like that's I guess when we grow up we're like pillars.
Totally.
And it's like read the room. Like what's going on? I think that was a big thing of mine is like there's too much chaos.
Totally.
There's too much at 30 years old, you know, like we've been around the block or two.
We sure have.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day and they don't remember 9/11 and I was like, oh my God, I'm old. I was like, I'm old.
Dang. That's like one of the like very few childhood memories.
Me too. Literally, me too. I remember shit all from my childhood except exactly where I was on 9/11, what I was thinking, whose house I went to after the fact.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah.
I've thought about this. Don't you believe it's because of everyone else's feeling that you felt? Does that make sense? Like
9/11 specifically, or why I can't remember things?
No, 9/11 specifically, and why we remember that day, and why it was important to us. Because I'm sorry, didn't we go through more traumatic stuff?
Well, now we have.
So yes, but like I think about some of that, and I'm like, dude, why did I remember that? But I think it's because of the amount of people feeling a way that I've never saw people react. I've never like kind of react the way I wanted to react sometimes with my own feelings. And I always just thought about that.
Like the adults in our lives, I don't think there's no way we understood what was happening, right? Like, yeah, we saw the videos or whatever, but we didn't understand what this could have meant for the world. But you're right. Like the adults around us, their stress levels must have been just like at a level we've never seen before.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're right. We internalized that. And so we remember it so vividly. Fascinating.
Yeah. I just always like, I have psychoanalyzed this brain of mine to pieces. Like I tell you, and like I did at one point. I'm like, why do you remember that? Why that day? That doesn't help us.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't you remember like oh Lord. Yeah.
What am I scared of? Can you tell me that?
Yeah. Did my mom ever tell me she loved me when I was a child? Because that would be a nice memory to have, but I don't actually remember. Oh God. Yeah. So fucking true.
So like, I remember literally just going crazy like, why? My bad.
Totally. So when did you get a BPD diagnosis and what did that look like?
Good. I love that one. My first hospital stay, they put me on antipsychotics and I was bipolar. To them. I did not get my BPD diagnosis until this year.
Oh my God. And so you had been misdiagnosed with bipolar for that entire time?
I've honestly, it's kind of scary how much I've been diagnosed with like OCD, like severe OCD, major depressive disorder with psychotic symptoms. That one was weird. Bipolar 2, bipolar 1.
ADHD, obviously.
Yeah, ADHD. What's that one? That is there. That is very much true. I did hear though at my but I couldn't. This really fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm just kind of like remembering this, but I do remember when I first learned, like when my psychiatrist. By the way, I would like to talk about this. My psychiatrist, Dr. White, is a white man. Okay. If you can just, let's just say I was not giving him my like I was very hesitant. Men, period, in the mental health.
Yeah.
Like, bye. No, I'm not saying but like Texas, okay. I feel like Texas is a huge, like, different thing too. The ego here is out of fucking control. It really is. But Dr. White, when I first met him, it was out of my second hospital stay. And that was after I graduated college, got into a new job. Everything was good, I thought, But I realized that I thought that getting a degree in accounting and all of that would like give me all like way more resources to get way more help. And then I realized there's not much help, like,
Yeah.
and I kind of took a really bad fall. And I had okay, first off, in Waco, where I'm at, our only mental health facility for the longest time that I originally went to the first time closed. And so the second time around, I thought it was going to be like that first time around. It was not. It was not. That first time around, I stayed for like 4 days, 5 days. They tried to keep me for the full 14 days that my insurance would allow at this place. And I was more traumatized than I went in. I didn't get any. I got pumped with medication that literally made me walk like an 80-year-old woman. Like,
Really? What kind of
I was
drugs were they giving you?
I was an antipsychotic with a D. And
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back on that. I can give that. And it was a mood stabilizer. I was on. They took away Klonopin and gave me trazodone and instead of the Klonopin, so I was like on that
Yeah.
too.
Did you like
Um,
trazodone?
I still use it to this day, but here's my thing with trazodone. I do not use it every day. No, no, no.
Because it's for sleep, right?
Yes, but it doesn't put me to sleep.
No,
Like,
it didn't for me either.
okay,
And I was really
that's
frustrated.
the kind of normal people, like they're not normal,
Right.
no, but like they're not like you
Like
get
I would
like
take it and then I would get fucking hyper and I would like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd be going for a walk and I'd be like typing hysterically. And I was like, this is supposed to make me sleep? Like, it's having the
it's
exact
not.
opposite reaction.
It's actually really there's like two kind of things to it. I did a lot of research on trazodone, by the way, after
Yeah.
I got out of that because I
Okay.
thought it was weird that they were giving it to me in the morning and stuff.
That
Like,
is weird. Although it
it,
is an antidepressant as well, right?
and anxiety too. It can hit you 15 minutes. And like, I mean, not anxiety, but like, okay, for us, when we're in that BPD rage and we're like very high, that is perfect to take in 15 minutes.
Mm.
It's gonna just bring you down to where you're not running. Like, I
Yeah.
want
You can like
to,
chill for a sec.
like, cause I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I can lift a car.
Oh
I
yeah,
can,
100%.
and that's just something quick to really, and for us, cause like, it's going to take us like Klonopins and stuff that can be really scary
Mm-hmm.
to really calm us down because it's really what I would like to talk about that I like. Gabapentin, love my gabapentin, and those I take like one or two of those, and then a trazodone every 2 or 3 days, not
Mm.
every day, every two
Okay.
or three days because I don't know. I've heard a lot of people, and I know it's happened to me, about like nightmares, vivid dreams, and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm just not I get scared by dreams, I guess. Like scary shit
Mm.
happens in my dream, and I'm just like,
You're
I
like, all
like,
right.
like, I watch gory movies and it just doesn't phase. I'm just that type of person. So like, it doesn't phase me. But yes, I do dream very vividly. But I sleep hard. I
Right.
sleep hard, and so I will do that, and I'll go sleep at like 7:30, 8 that night, and I'll get me a very good night of sleep. But I
Right.
cannot do that every night because
Right.
then, first off, the medication, I've learned the medication stops working like I want it to.
Yeah.
And then I think I became more of a robot. Like I was just I slept too much. I slept too much
Yeah.
to where I was just like not really there. And I have now found this healthy, like I know this is crazy, but like I run really well 2 or 3 days off of like 6 or 8 hours of sleep. Like
Wow.
it
I need 9 minimum a night.
I let me check, go back. This is not every day.
Okay.
I am so up and down all over the place because, yeah, like there could be a week of my life that I'm like, I need 8 hours every week or every day this week. So it is I think it's all about finding your balance.
Yeah.
But I have also known that, yes, you're right. Like you need to sleep. When you say that you need to sleep for 8 hours, why do you say that? What do you see?
I've found that 9 hours is my happy point where I'm not sleeping too much that I'm depressed or like can't get out of bed, because that happens to me all the time where I like sleep too much and then I want to have naps all day because I'm like just kind of blah. But if I have less than 9 hours, like I can, you know what, if I can do like a day or two with like a 5.5 hour sleep. If I'm going to the office and I'm just going to like be around people and have a big cup of coffee in the morning, and like I can do it. But a consistent 9 hours means that I'm like more regulated for the every day. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the stability point for me.
I think it's just there's so many variables to us.
Oh, for
and
sure.
there are, like, I'm a tax accountant. I really hate myself. So we have busy seasons. We have busy seasons where we can work. I never work up to 80. I don't do that to myself. But there's a lot of work to be done. And those times when I know, like, it's most 3 weeks, that we're really in a crunch time. And honestly, I've never seen it be like 3. It's more 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. Okay. So that's kind of like where I can thrive in those moments on like 3 to 5 hours a night, and on the weekend do a good like trazodone night and push it through. Like I can push through, but then guess what? After busy season, I need to stop and I need to get myself back because
it's like a time limited ability to power through it.
Thank you. Yes.
And in accounting, that's such a perfect example of, like, I don't know what it's like in the States, but yeah, like April here, like brutal if you're an accountant. But the rest of the time, like, yeah, you can actually have a normal life.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, it's hard, and like, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Especially when you have to like just talk to people, and oh god, that's like that. I love the busy season and the off season because it's my fucking ups and downs. Like it I'm and then on the off season, that's where I really take care of myself, and no one gives a shit if you're in the office or not or what you're doing. No one's caring if it's like just get your hours done, get your work done, and like
totally. You can't just disappear.
But like they're really like that's and I love that because I am totally that person to do some intense work. That's really stimulating because I'm not gonna lie, my mind don't freaking do this very well unless I got a deadline.
Totally.
Even
And you
it,
and like the like exciting part of like the busy season, honestly, I feel like I would kind of love parts of that because you're like, okay, we're powering through, we're working as a team, we're gonna do this.
oh,
And then like
absolutely.
there's a deadline, and then at the end of the deadline you're like, oh, it's
It
kind of
makes
like school.
like ADHD heart so happy, you know,
Yeah.
because like I actually start a new job tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but I emotionally quit last week, but it was happening for a long time because um last year I was in the mental hospital, and the beginning of this year I decided to be more open with what was going on, and I I've been working this year as hard as I could trying to if this was gonna work with this term, and it no, they just don't understand.
Did
And
it feel like a direct result of you being more open
yeah,
that they were not
yeah,
treating you as well?
yeah, because there
Oh,
was like, oh yeah, yeah, what obviously hurts even more, and um, the way he like it was all honestly like when I say it, it's like it's so fucked, and like for it to happen to a BPD person, it's just even more fucked, like I basically like went to him about a situation that really, really bothered me and dismissed it and validated me basically, which is cooler of us, playing with fire as I like to
yeah.
call it. Um and he didn't do anything. So the next day I said, I'm still feeling upset. I'm going to send an email and I'll CC you on it, but I want my point across and know that I don't like this and I want my feelings heard. And he stopped me and he was like, no, no, I'll do it, I'll do it. I got it and like said everything I wanted to hear. That did the whole manipulative thing, like um really tried to play some emotional cards on me too, which really,
Mm.
really was sick. And I'm not right. First off, before this, I tap chance on some toes. I do. I do. I'm not going to say that I don't. I am
Yeah.
extremely respectful. I'm extremely kind, and I only step on toes to help more than one person.
Right. It's like
You
a
know,
greater good situation.
absolutely. And I am a very open. Like I don't like when your own parents don't love you. You kind of don't give a fuck what
Uh-huh.
anyone thinks. And I started just asking him kind of some really tough questions. Not really like saying anything, just asking tough questions. And I think that may have made him really uncomfortable. And then it was pushing him to be a manager
Mm.
and egos, Texas
Yeah.
egos, you know what I'm saying? It's all making sense. It's all
Yeah.
clicking, right? Yeah.
And a man being told by a woman how to do their job doesn't sit well.
I
Yeah.
tap danced on some toes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, yeah. But I started like I couldn't believe it, but like I left in a very emotional manner because of the email he sent me, and I sent something really quick, but it was just like okay, I'm getting kind of this happened literally last week, so I'm still a little
Yeah. Hit
flabbergasted.
me.
He sent me this long fucking email, and of like words to and
Yeah.
I was so mad. And at the end, he was like, "We have a lot of work to do. Like let's reconnect." And I just quickly responded, "You have a lot of work to do." Um, and I went up to the office to start packing up my office, and he had the other person working that day, clearing out my office, all of the stuff in my drawers.
Oh
They,
wow.
in their hands, were like literally like my jackets and stuff. Like it was, I blew the fuck up. I did. I went to him and I was like, that is insane. I have never heard of any job that didn't like you pack your own sit and leave. You're that's
Well, and you hadn't even been fired. Like, at least like have the dignity to be like, by the way, you're being fired. We've packed up your desk. But like you saw the person packing up your desk. Like that's not how this goes in any situation.
yeah, yeah. And then I'm not even gonna keep on going on because like I call him a baby bad bitch. That's who he is. He's a baby bad bitch. And I'm not gonna go on with it. All I'm gonna say is that I didn't have a lot of emotional energy after all of this to go and find a job. Okay, I wasn't expecting to quit, and I wasn't in it, And I'm not gonna lie, I just like one of my friends on Facebook said looking for a tax preparer. I didn't say anything. I just sent the text message or like sent a picture of my resume because I have no energy.
Right.
I then sleep on the couch for like 3 days. And then Monday, I get a call for an interview. And during that interview, all he said was, I just want to hear your side because I called him and he just rubbed
Oh
me the
no.
wrong way. It's just another small CPA. It's not like it's a big firm. It's not like I'm going to take any clients. It's not like, dude, he's still old school. I'm going to have to help him digitize his shit. Okay, he's in
Right.
like so it's not even a competition, Like it was like really, I was just flabbergasted that he really. I'm like, and I'm a mom. Like you call my son your nephew.
What?
Yeah. Oh, the whole family.
Like
This.
the work family thing?
Yeah.
I've never heard
Yeah.
anybody call them your like nephew and niece. Maybe that's like a southern thing. I don't think they do that up here.
Well, it's a small firm, and boundaries. I did. I didn't
Yeah, you
know
didn't
I
have any.
had. I didn't know I had BPD until this year. I started
Right.
over a year ago, and um, I was scared. I was, I was mentally ill, and I finally got my degree, which almost killed me trying to get. I didn't want to work for a big four. I got offers like that is something that, but I didn't want to do that to myself. So I went for a little small guy, and now that I kind of look back, like the first interview was not an interview. It was very much like, I feel bad. Like it was off from the beginning. I should have seen it coming because he didn't talk about what I could do for
Skills.
the firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the fact that he recently came out as gay and he's been working as a CBA. It's like, and like he's just
Right. So it's
trying.
not an interview. It's just like a chat.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
and basically he said like a bunch of people quit before because he was gay. No, that's a goddamn lie. And that's why he said that he was like talking about it at first. Was just like he wanted to be like see how we
Right. Like open
feel.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, but it was very odd. Like, dude, my sister was born Tyler. Okay, like
Right.
it's very obvious on my face that I am an ally. I'm very supportive. So it's like,
Yeah.
and it just kept on going.
Well, and like you'd hope at like interviewing somebody of our age that like it would be implied that like we wouldn't care. Like we would,
Yeah.
you're a person, are you a good person, a bad person? That's good to know, right? But other than that,
I'm
like
I'm so soft. Are you maybe I'm so soft at the fact that like I am an adult. I am an adult for sure. I'm confident to say that I am a
Sometimes I
adult.
wonder, but about myself, that is. I'm like, I don't know if I'm set out for this adulting thing.
But have you met other people? Like that I work, like some of them out there, I'm just like, how did you think any of this was okay? Like how it, like I just, no, I'm in past here is what it is, okay? The people that play victim and the like, I didn't know, I didn't know, well, I didn't know. And it's like, no, I spelled it all out for you. You can't say you didn't know, like,
Right.
and these type of adults that think that they can just keep, this, I may be just stringing a lot of things together, but I think as a 30-year-old woman, my biggest problems and what I've had to overcome is those poor me motherfuckers that have no reason to be poor me. Or like, I wish I had your reason. Like, let's see where I could have gone. And then the ones that just play victim and do nothing else. Like, even if you are the victim, you still have work to do.
Yeah, we all do. Which is interesting to me because I wanted to ask more about the question around, you said, when your parents don't love you. Do they play victim to your like mental health issues, or are you just completely caught? Are you just completely disowned, or what's the deal?
I have cut them off as of this year. I no communication with them. And my stepdad, I don't have much hatred for him quite as much because his abuse was way more understanding. It wasn't even okay. I think it's so funny. My second mental health day, I met this guy and he told me this term, and I'm going to use it right now. I'm a recovering Catholic. I grew up in my stepdad's very intense Catholic religion. And grew into me and my sister. Imagine her. She is a trooper, okay?
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
I think she's magical. And I also think that is a really cool thing because she does not have BPD. She has severe PTSD and has, all these other things. But I have the BPD, and I think that's because my biological dad had that.
Oh, because you have different biological dads.
Her real dad is my stepdad who adopted me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good context.
Yes, yeah. It's complicated. It's kind. You might have to get some arrows going, but
Yeah, exactly. I need a whiteboard.
yeah. But yeah, no. It went away. Where was it? Oh yes, my dad.
I asked about your parents and
Yeah.
if they were, you stopped talking to them this year. Super Catholic.
I only So that's what I say. So my stepdad, that was very easy. Okay. Growing up, he was never there. He worked all the time. That's what his young, not fully developed frontal brain, honestly, man thought was best for his family was to go out and provide for the family. And I understand it and I get it, and it's like he didn't know those things were going to happen. But after that and the religion, that's about it. That's my stepdad. He's just a very hardworking, God-fearing man, a little ignorant and don't want to listen to new information. But
does your sister still talk to them? Like, I'm thinking ignorance goes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. She tried to tell him, tell him that, come out as, I don't even know really where, because she has just started using the name Lacey this year, it's been a very, so I don't even know, she's not, I honestly, I think she's asexual, She just don't. She has a lot of friends. She just doesn't the whole touchy thing, you know. So like, I don't know really where I wasn't there, you know, but I don't know really how she was trying to go about it. But evidently, they had a really good day that day. Evidently, they were all getting along, which is very rare for. And by the way, I'm always left out. Okay, like they always hang out together. They go on trips and shit. Like I'm always left out, but it's okay. No, I'm really sad. No, he like started like they went out to eat. They had flights at some bar in Colorado or something. Oh, and they get back to his apartment and he like sits down and he's like, Dad, I want to talk to you. And he just says no. Not like he already knew. He already knew and like cut him off and like would not and then didn't talk to him or have like okay, I also want to say that I struggle a lot with her and going back and forth with him and her with
Yeah, like in the past tense.
because back then that was still him, you know, but he was very much I was the one telling him, like, you got a girl brain. You have a girl brain. You don't have a boy brain. Boys don't think like you. Okay. Like, I'm very sorry. But you got a girl brain, you know, like I was the one telling him that. So like back then, I just don't want I feel bad, but it's like it just gets confusing. But
Yeah.
um and that was just that was it. That was it. And I respect Lacey so much for that, honestly. Because she did it before me. And she's my younger sister, you know, by 4 years. And it took me much longer. And I'm very proud of how she stood so firm and who she is. And like, she moved to Colorado. She is like, I'm so proud of her. I love her so much. But yeah, my dad, but my mom. My mom is the biggest pain of my life. I don't think I'll ever stop crying over my mom. And I think I get it, but it still doesn't feel better, you know? So my mom was 17 when she got pregnant with me, and she was dating this guy. And this is crazy, dude. I don't know. This is insane. She cheated on that guy and got pregnant with me. She named me after that guy, and I ended up being born on his birthday. We share
Jeez.
a birthday. So not
Sorry,
only
the bio dad's birthday or the guy that she was with and then cheated with bio? Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
if I'm not the biggest fucking reminder of the biggest mistake, you know, like
Yeah.
it, and I don't know a lot of the story, but that guy soon after he was already like getting in trouble and stuff, but he got arrested for like a violent assault charge, and then got into jail, joined a prison gang, and got like something else. He's doing life in prison, and it's funny because like the only like good advice my mom ever gave me was kind of about him, and it was just after my first real boyfriend that man destroyed me. She said you can't help who you fall in love with, and sometimes when you fall in love with someone, you completely lose yourself. And
yeah,
I mean that's the only thing good she's ever. So like I think back on that because I think it was about him, and that's why she said those things, and it's more about her because I've had her, you know, a couple years later trying to give me advice on another boyfriend I had that I'm seeing red flags. And she's like, hey, you know how you got through all that shit with your other boyfriend? God was just preparing you to be a better partner for this guy. Like, the way that woman set me up for the zero boundaries, no self-esteem, people pleasing, just just wanting to be in a bad place at the wrong time, like I can't remember a lot of things, but there's like I remember her saying something about a CPS case and like laughing about it and stuff. And like, I've had to piece things together based off of like my own real knowledge, like going back on my medical record.
Right.
And like seeing I had eardrum reconstruction after already having 32 tubes put in my ear, of them constantly telling them to stop smoking in the house. And they pulled out tar out of my ear.
Oh my God.
And my ear it's reconstructed. My eardrum is never the same. I will never hear perfectly. And that's just one, like it's just kind of like those little things, like the cat, like you see, I don't know if you can see, they're like so tiny. Once we get back, the cavities.
So just like super neglected, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, not just physically, but the emotional. I think this one was crazy. I asked my mom where I got this scar from, and you can still see it. I don't know if you can on that, but I got this when I was 2 years old, and it goes all the way around. So there, you have to have seen bone, is what I'm thinking. Right. And I asked her what I was doing, and she said that I was opening a thing of teeth.
Okay.
With a knife. I got it out of the refrigerator, climbed up onto the counter to get the knife, and to try to open it with a knife on the counter. Like,
how does nobody notice that if they're paying attention? Yeah.
And I think before all this crazy, like before Easter, Easter, I struggled with trigger warning. I don't know how you call it, not necessarily just sexual assault, but just sexual trauma, I guess. And like trying to understand that and why I did certain things and why certain things happened. And I obviously don't remember much, and I'm remembering a lot more. Yeah. A lot, but it's still nothing. But I am just very certain that I was sexually abused based off of how I acted at certain ages, and it was just very and I like that. My mom, her best friend since 7th grade has been like my second mom. So I've actually lost kind of 2 moms.
Because neither of them are in your life anymore?
The other one, her best friend, I didn't know this, okay? My mom sat there and listened to me cry and listened to me ask questions and begging why, and she knew why. She was just acting very different and just kind of standoffish, and was like, and her daughter was acting weird, and like her sister, like everyone was. And so I ended up like messaging her and was like, what's going on at times? Like, I just feel something's off. And I just, and she completely dismissed me. It was like, no, it's great, love you. But nothing changed, like it wasn't the same vibes at all. Like you could tell, like the vibes are off.
Yeah.
And I found out about, just about a year and a half ago, actually, from her ex-husband that she accused him of sleeping with me. Yeah. Yeah. And it hurt so fucking bad because I couldn't understand why. But my mom was the one that was dating a guy and cheated on her boyfriend and got pregnant. So if that just tells you the type of person.
Yeah.
She also had multiple affairs with my stepdad and like brought me along, made me best friends with the his daughter.
Yeah, like their kids. Yeah.
But at the time when that happened, I was very much like sick, so sick that this woman would really think that of me. Because that is not me, okay? And one thing about me is I am nothing like my mom. So, I was just genuinely confused. And then once I finally kind of realized that people don't see, I do look a lot like her. I do. I hate it, but I do.
Yeah, I would hate that too. Yeah.
I dye my hair red so that we don't, she keeps it blonde. So,
yeah.
But I didn't ever connect that my whole life people have been treating me like I'm her. Like I will be the type of person she is. And I was hurt in different ways, more like in the, I don't know, because everyone's just so different. And it's just like, it was just such a wow moment. And it changes your whole perspective. Like, damn, no one fucking saw me as me.
Yeah, that's the person you want to distance yourself from the most, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So don't let me go on and on about her job.
No, it's just fascinating. Like BPD often comes from childhood trauma, but we had a full 45-minute conversation without getting into the why. I think we've answered the why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is just like intense emotional neglect.
Yeah.
We are out of time, or coming up on out of time. Is there anything that we haven't gone through that you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm actually very glad that I got through, because I really wanted to speak on the church, that kind of, and I wanted to speak on just like being in Texas too, like we are ignorant assholes here. I feel like it's very, very, it's a whole different perspective. So I didn't realize that either until I was older, that was traumatizing as well. The church was traumatizing. My mom was traumatizing. This was like, just nothing was safe. Nowhere.
Are you still religious?
I would say I'm more spiritual. I do, like there are still points that like now I lay my head to sleep, like that one, of course, like and I'm not gonna lie, I grew up Catholic, and I think it's so funny that they are some witches. Okay, they're out there lighting the candles, they're ringing the bell, they're chanting and stuff, and I'm like, man, y'all are talking so much shit about pagans, but y'all are.
It's all connected.
Yeah. So I've kind of like gotten kind of back into that a little bit, like
but in your own way, like not being forced by your family, and that's the difference, I think, right?
I don't think I'll ever be a part of a church, like that. I hope we're done with that. Is that a thing in the past?
You'd think so, but I don't believe it is. One day, give it 40 years, they'll be gone. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
but
my goodness.
I think, because I really wanted to focus on the the ADHD, like the pregnancy, all of that. And it was hard to kind of like, if I started from freaking my mom and dad, we would have never gotten anywhere. I'm kind of glad that I started with like Easton, you know.
Totally. And this is how you're breaking the cycle too.
Thank you. Yes.
Right? Like it's so clear from how you talk about him that you're not ever going to have.
Yeah, that's priority. That's number 100%. Like,
as it should be for all parents, but here we are.
And you know what's funny is like you would think that I would. I mean, I still do. Absolutely, in our BPD moments, I feel very guilty, and I feel very sad that he is seeing his mom cry like that. But I'm also like, he's not gonna cry like that. I know for goddamn fact. Like I know for a fact that what I am doing with my son today, even if all these predispositions, I truly believe that I would save him from what I have right now. How I feel, especially like the intensity of it, or like, do you feel like yours got more severe at a certain point in your life, or has it always kind of been consistent?
I think I've had it forever.
Yeah.
Like I can't look back on a time in my life. Again, I have horrible memory, like very little memories of my childhood, but I would say that I've had this issue my entire life and just it wasn't recognized or treated until I was 19.
Wow.
And then from there it comes and goes.
Yeah. I mean,
but had I grown up in an environment where like talking about your feelings was normal and like you could be expressive about that, and like there wasn't a lack of one parent. In my situation, it was one parent just not prioritizing us. Then I don't think I would be here.
Because my dad was always at work, and I was just with my mom. So it's like, yeah, absolutely. And like I think about that all the time. Like with Easton, like there's so many times they could have gotten it right, you know. And I'm getting it right now. Like, I can see it. Like, he's a redhead. Pray for me. He is a like
a natural
redhead. And he does get angry.
Yeah.
When he gets frustrated, like I think I'm like, that is not a normal sign of rage. That is a more elevated rage. And I'm just so proud of the fact that I can get them out of it pretty easily, and then it doesn't ruin the whole day. And like all these things, like that's what's so important. Like, I think with BPD you realize really quickly what is important, what you can survive with and what you cannot survive without. And it kind of clears like priorities for sure.
That seems like a good way to wrap up our last question, which is like, we've talked a lot about how BPD is so difficult and how our childhood's impacted how we are now, but what are the positives in your mind of BPD or being a superfeeler?
Yes, I actually am very proud. I also do want to say that like once I found out I was BPD, I kind of got more into my personality too. And like I'm a Cancer. I'm already a feeler, you know. And then I'm also the Steve Myers-Briggs. I'm the INFJ. Yeah. So like God was like triple shot the feelings dose with me. So I've been like taking kind of a true power in that and like being proud of that, and the fact that like I am the person that I've seen it many times that like if someone in a grocery store falls down, I'm gonna run over there and I'm not gonna freak out. I'm gonna be calm as a cucumber, and I'm gonna be able to like do things, or like I can. And it's because of my BPD. It's because my fight or flight doesn't react quite like other people's do, and mine are like things that should, like, it shouldn't scare you. It's just picking up your medicine. It's okay.
Right.
But for some reasons, in very high stress, high emotional conflict, or high emotional state, I am so chill. It's like and I love, and then the fact that I'm able to truly empathize with damn near everyone I meet, because I've went through the whole self-harm drug.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been through a lot of it to where I can, and I love that. I love just seeing you just say one quick sentence and that you can tell it got the real, like, wheels running in a person's head.
Yeah.
The hope. That's what I love. What I love is like being able to use my emotional superpower for good and also for evil too, dude. When I do not, like, if I overhear someone trying to gaslight someone, no. She asked a certain question. How about you ask or answer
the damn question?
Like, no, like, I will jump into anyone's business. When it comes to emotional abuse, I will see, like, I don't care who it is. I don't care who, and I am 5 foot. And
You're 5 foot. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, there has been many times where people have caught me like,
yeah.
But I'm like, no, like, please, I love to, like, I'm BBD. I love to get hit sometimes. Okay, like, please help me. I think this will be worth it, honestly. Like,
yeah, we'll stand up for what's right, 100%.
Yeah. So I think I love that question, because that just started happening this year, and I love it. Like, I love seeing the goodness that comes out of it, and how I can help people, and how bring peace. Although, because have you not know that, one more tangent, and I'm sorry, and I'll be done, but like, all these like scary movies are getting into Halloween. They're all like, everything from the devil is all mental torment. That's like, isn't that freaking scary? That we ain't worried about, like,
it used to be Saw and shit, right? Like,
no, it's
Final Destination,
about
Saw.
It's about the devil gaslighting you and tricking you into thinking that this person's someone to trust, and like, all in that.
Way more scary.
Seriously, and it's where was I going with that? What was I saying? Oh, I think that just puts into perspective what we go through, though, and how painful that is, because they're making movies off of this stuff, and that's true torment. And some of these things that I see them doing, I'm like, I do this. Like, I'll grab my head and like scream, or or pull your hair,
crawl in a hole, or
like, all these things. It's like, I do that. Like, that's pretty freaking intense. I wish more people talked about, like, terrifying. Your mind not being your best friend.
Yeah. Horrifying.
Yeah. That part.
Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, for coming on and sharing your story. I just really appreciated getting to know you better, and I'm sure everybody else did too. And hopefully I'll see you at Superfeelers, I think, next week.
Oh, yes. I will be there. Yay. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Today's episode was recorded on the unceded and traditional territory of the Matsqui and Sumas First Nations. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps me reach more listeners like you, and we're always looking for improving the podcast. Remember, you can always stay connected with me on social media. You can follow us. The show notes will have all of the details for Instagram profiles. If you want to support the podcast and help me continue to bring great content, please consider joining the Superfeeler community on Patreon. Your support really means the world to me, and there's a variety of different options for support, including some free ones. For all information about the Superfeelers Club, which is the peer support that we run, including upcoming events and resources, head over to Eventbrite or LaurieEdmondson.com for more information. If you have a topic that you want me to cover or a guest you'd love to hear from, please send me the suggestions. Always happy to hear them. Until next time, keep on super feeling and living authentically. This is Lori signing off of the Superfeeler podcast.